And congratulations again, Marie and Phil.
Thank
Wonderful. Thank you. We're so inspired by Teen Vogue. You're now digital visionaries. I mean, this is our award. What's it feel like to be a digital visionary?
It's such an honor, obviously, to be here and to be with all of you guys. Our Chief Digital Officer of Condé Nast, Fred Santarpia, asked me, how do you take Teen Vogue from 2 million to 10 million unique visitors per month? And at the time, it was like a pipe dream, you know, and forgive the phrase. But, you know, to be honest, it was a hyperbole. And I said, I really think that the secret to expanding Teen Vogue's content and expanding the audience is to talk to teenagers how they want to be spoken to and to talk to them about things that matter in the world. Because young women, believe it or not, are affected by the things that Donald Trump is doing in his presidency, and they're affected by the things that you read in the newspaper every day. And kids aren't immune to that. You know, they're seeing it and they're digesting it, and they need help, you know, navigating news and politics in a way that makes sense to them. So Fred was kind of like, that's great, but stick to fashion and beauty, right? Because that's gonna be the real winner. And ultimately, we were so excited to kind of prove everyone's expectations wrong. You know, now, almost 2 years later, Teen Vogue has grown over 250% digitally. We're almost at 11 million uniques for the month, this month. And so that's been great. Thank you.
Nina is one of the most loyal, as we said, Teen Vogue readers that we have. She is the daughter of our gorgeous COO, Portia Wenze Danley. Nina, why don't you tell us a bit about the articles that have resonated with you?
Thank you, Brian. Well, I am in college. As we know, I go to a college called Spelman College. It's an all-women's college. And being with that, we always talk about the Black Lives Matter movement and also just talk about diversity as a whole. So being as it is, reading that in Teen Vogue, I know one of the most recent ones was a teen perfectly summed up the Black Lives Matter movement while in class. And that spoke volumes to see that in a magazine or to see that online. For me, it was a wow moment. It was like an aha moment. And then the second one by Lauren Duca was why we all need to be activists right now. Because I know for myself, that's been something that's so passionate of, well, it's been a passion of mine, I should say, from being in high school, being a high school, what is it called? I'm sorry, a magazine editor as myself. We try to put out that same type of message that we all should be activists because just like you said, this is our world too. Just because we're children, we're the future at the end of the day. So those are my two favorite ones so far.
Well, thank you. I think, yes. So many media organizations and so many companies, frankly, so many brands, fashion brands and tech brands are afraid to say the words Black Lives Matter. And they consider that to be a politically loaded term, which we do not consider the phrase Black Lives Matter to be politically loaded. We consider that to be fact. And we were happy to say that. The editor of our print magazine, Elaine Waltroth, is a Black woman. The woman who launched our politics vertical was a Black woman. And we wanted to make sure that the people who worked for us and worked with us felt that we were representing them positively. And so it's a lot of incredible Black women who really made that push and who made that a part of our editorial mission. And so I'm really glad that it resonated with you in your classroom, and you are a model of what we want Teen Vogue readers to be, and you're incredible. A philosophy student, 20 years old, you already know what you want to be a motivational speaker, so anyways, we're happy to be here with you.
Thank you, and with that being said, my next question would be for you all. What are some of your most recent articles that are your favorites as well, or that you're proud of, rather? Marie?
For me, I think it's a lot of the video series we've done, Ask A. So we did Ask a Native American Girl, we did Ask a Muslim Girl, we did Ask, where we finished with?
Ask a Syrian Girl.
Yeah, Ask a Syrian Girl. And those are like 4 to 5 videos, so it's a series. And those have been some of my favorites because we got to meet the girl, tell their story, and through a lot of different points and a lot of different visual points for me. So.
Hey, Phil.
I mean, I have so many favorites, but April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, And last year, we hired Teen Vogue's first ever wellness editor. So our wellness editor came in, and she basically, her name is Vera Papasova. She made a mission to get Teen Vogue involved in the conversation about reproductive justice. And so a big part of that was talking about sexual assault. So she launched a campaign called #NotYourFault. And we had a series that we launched that was nominated for an American Society of Magazine Editors Award called Guys Read. And you know, what we found was a lot of men feel uncomfortable talking about rape and sexual assault. And also men feel attacked before they even are invited to the conversation, right? Where they feel like constantly men are being villainized in the conversations about sexual assault. And so Vera launched a series called Guys Read, where she invited men of all different identities and races and backgrounds to read stories from sexual assault survivors and then reflect on them together. And so for 2 of the videos, these men had amazing revelations about rape culture and what that actually means, and kind of were able to talk about it in a safe space that wasn't like a classroom environment where they were like, they felt that they had to perform or do the bravado thing. And then in the last video of the series, actually, one of the men who's reading the story realizes that he's reading the rape of the man he's reading with. And so it was a huge revelation, a huge moment for him, where we realized that rape is something that happens to men too, and that was not something he considered to be part of the conversation before. And this year, Vice President Joe Biden's office reached out to us and reached out to my wellness editor to say, we want you to interview Joe Biden, because he loves the work that you're doing and he wants to talk to you about it. And so seeing that come full circle a year after all of her hard work, and seeing her, she actually literally hung up the phone with Joe Biden and came into my office crying because she was so emotional because of her conversation with him. That was an incredible moment for us.
Wow, that's so amazing, so amazing. My next question will be directed to Marie, which is, as creative director, what are some of the factors you consider when portraying today's teens?
Honesty. I think I really want to, so just as a back, I was doing the print edition, and Phil brought all, you know, the wellness, politics, and all that to the table, which opened up really my world to meeting a lot of different girls and wanting to tell different stories, and my background being more fashion photography and art, and not really a digital background, really created a different approach to every subject matters that he brought on. So ultimately, I think telling their story the best way we can, making everyone feel good and safe, and making them feel the best, be the most diverse, not being cliche. And all those things sounds very easy, but they're actually quite hard to accomplish.
And I would add, I think, you know, for Marie's been navigating the world of fashion for a really long time. And
I'm older.
No, I wasn't saying that. I wasn't going there with it.
Her nickname is the grumpy French mom, is that right?
That's
I don't
who I
see
am
it, I don't see it. She's charming.
But I think what's been amazing to see is that because all of these like iconic photographers, iconic hair and makeup artists, they come to a Teen Vogue set and they know to expect something different now.
Right.
So we will call upon, you know, an iconic photographer, and he knows he's going to photograph, like, let's say our cover, Troye Sivan, but the video is going to be of Troy at the Ali Forney Center, which is an LGBTQ homeless shelter in New York City, and he knows that he's going to have to be sensitive to the environment around him. And basically, she's bringing all these luminaries of the fashion industry to do work that they've never been challenged to do before.
And they're all very excited to do
right.
it. So it's been a turnaround where really, I think from brands to artists to stylists to people, everyone wants to tell more of a real story and be part of something that matters a little more. So I know, in my opinion, that's why I'm doing it, and I love it. That's
great. So, like, in a way, you're creating them to be activists as well. That's what it sounds like. That's great. Phil, I would like to ask you now. You have a room full of tech and internet policy leaders here right now. So what should they know about your readers, about the teens today?
Oh my gosh, there's so much. I think for our demographic, the most fascinating thing that we've learned is that representation is key and authenticity is key. our readers are very quick to point out when we get something wrong, and then we listen, and then we correct it. And we make sure that we're listening to them all the time. Our social media team is constantly monitoring every tweet we get, every comment we get, and then is providing that feedback to our editors in real time, and making sure that we're on the right side of things. I think in the tech industry in particular, we are dealing with an industry that has a lot of gender parity right now. And when teenagers see a cover of The Atlantic, for example, that talks about the lack of women in Silicon Valley or the lack of people of color in Silicon Valley, that can be really disheartening. Why do you see that headline, and how does that encourage a group of young women to want to mobilize to make a difference? I think that what ultimately the tech industry needs to do is recognize that young women aren't going to show up for you until you show up for them. Mm-hmm. And through the initiatives that you guys are creating, and how you're thinking about how you operate within your companies and how you're diversifying your workforces, it's important that you're working with the right media partners and the right organizations, influencers, and celebrities even, to get that message across in a way that really rings true and authentic and doesn't seem forced. We had a meeting with the new Chief Revenue Officer of the Women's Collection at Condé Nast, which represents Allure, Teen Vogue, Self, Brides, and Glamour, so 5 major women's magazines. And tech was the one space that no one felt that they were getting enough advertising in or attention from businesses. And I don't really think that's a coincidence. I think if you're advertising in GQ, you should probably be also looking at a women's magazine as a viable partner, and look at women as serious consumers of technology. When we launched our lifestyle, thank you.
That's right. So last question for you before we officially get off the stage here. You made a major shift this year, or last year, to digital. I mean, you used to be 10 issues, print issues, you're now 4, but you're on 15 digital platforms and a video channel as well. Why?
I think with all the changes that happen with digital, wellness, again, politics, we really wanted to look at what we had, budget, staff, and how we could achieve to tell the best story. And a magazine is something that is special. Everyone says it's a keepsake. We want to curate it. We made it a volume. We changed the format, really rethought it all. And we're in that way able to put our attention as well, going to 4 times a year, to creating more videos, having more people working towards better content from online. So I think it all was natural. We all wanted to do it. It worked so far. Yeah.
And with the renewed editorial mission, once Lauren Duca's article went viral, Donald Trump is gaslighting America, and she was on Fox News with Tucker Carlson, and he told her to stick to thigh-high boots. We were really excited because our consumer marketing team emailed us and said we were 800% above what they had projected for us for print subscriptions. So practically in 2 weeks, print subscriptions to the magazine had skyrocketed because people were coming to view her article on teenvogue.com. And that's great that people are coming to view her article, but the fact is people were converting to buy our product because they believed in what we stood for, and that's the power of journalism today.
That's great. Well, for everyone who asked me why we were honoring Teen Vogue, I hope you now understand why we honored Teen Vogue. Marie and Phil, congratulations on your incredible work. Please keep it up. We look forward to seeing even more. Congratulations on being this year's Digital Visionaries.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.